committee on this comes from a loose task from the Lake Superior Committee after the Tech Committee did a fish aging workshop again in Marquette 5 or so years ago, I believe it was. We had some words come out of that, and one of the loose tasks from the Lake Committee was to continue working towards a digital reference collection for aging fish. Ian Harding and I had been talking and talking with our Ontario counterparts as well about how difficult it is getting our expert agers had either retired or moved on, and it's harder and harder to train people in to age fish on the fly, as we seem apt to be doing now. So the work that Tim is presenting here is work that we've continued on the fish aging front with the digital reference collection. Thanks, Tim.
All right, thanks, Corey. Before I start, I just want to give a warning. I'm taking some technological risks by giving a live demonstration. So hopefully things don't crash and burn. And luckily I'm the last presentation, so it won't ruin everyone's day if that happens. And also don't be surprised when I leave the stage and go down to the computer. So my name is Tim Martin, and I'm actually the data analyst, data scientist for the Sentinel Lakes program in Minnesota, where we intensively monitor 25 inland lakes in the state. And I say that just to tell you that I don't really know a whole lot about the Great Lakes. And on top of that, I know even less about aging fish. So, but what I do have experience in through the Sentinel Lakes program is making web applications for some of the processes that we do. And so that's kind of where I came into all this. And so I'll talk about kind of the back, or what I've used for making this app, and then I'll do a demonstration of it. So the app is based on R, so for those of you who use that, but on top of R, we use a technology or a package called Shiny, which turns that R code, the command line code, into interactive web app. So instead of having to type things into the command line, you can use drop-down menus. You can, you can plot things. It makes things very interactive right in front of you without having to go, code searching and all that. So it's a very useful tool. And so when Corey came to me asking if this was something that would be possible, I was like, yeah, let's try it out. That's where we kind of are to now. And so we can move on to the app and. Alright, thanks. And while it's loading, nope, not get fast. Nope, it's not showing up on the screen now.
I think he's switching the live.
Oh, okay. Do I need to swap?
Yeah, you'll have to swap, and I'm only getting a duplicate of you.
Swap the presenter view?
Swap the screens.
You'll have to convert it to video 3, to screen 3.
Well, so this is just a prototype that I've kind of put together. This is something that, probably do it.
So you'll probably have to close the PowerPoint so that it releases this screen.
But yeah, this is a prototype that this isn't my full-time job working on this stuff. So if people are interested in taking it over or working with me on it, that'd be great. Okay, well, if this doesn't work, then we can just do the presentation. Let's just go back to normal if possible.
So if you open up what you were trying to present on your home screen.
The web page? Alright.
Right, so.
And then display?
1 sec.
Okay.
No, so it has to go on your home screen.
Okay, here we go.
Screen 1 and 2.
Here, go back to that display.
That's right.
No. Oh, okay. We made it the main display. 3 is the main display now?
No, 1 and 2.
1 and 2 the main display.
Alright,
And then when you present, it goes to 3. If it's on a flash drive, I can do it directly from my
Yeah.
computer.
I
No?
don't.
Can we just go back to the PowerPoint? Okay, let's do that.
Alright.
Alright, so that's not going to work. Luckily, I have a backup. So, this is what the front page looks like. It just has some information for you to put in about the user, who's taking the quiz, the organization, how long the quiz is. Right now, the minimum is 5 questions, which is too few for this thing, but it's good for testing. You select the species, location, structures, and techniques. We only have one option for each of those right now. But if you don't fill those in, so here's an example of it all filled in with that information. But if you don't fill it in, it'll give you warnings because it requires all that information before you can actually go on to the actual quiz, which looks like this. So it just, we've got on the left here, just some information about the individual that you're looking at, and then the actual photo of the otolith. So then the user can go in and count all the annuli on that. And then on the right, you've got where you put your age estimate in. The user will enter that in, click that Save Answer button, and that button will update to say, hey, you saved it, you're good. But if you want to change your answer, you can go back and do that, and just click that button again, and then move on to the next one. Do the same process there. We're saved and click update and all that. If you don't enter an estimate in, it'll give you this, just telling you left that last question blank, and you've got to answer all the questions before you can move on. And you can keep going on until you get to the very last question, where you've got these next and previous buttons down at the bottom, but that next button changes to finish. But if you didn't answer all the questions, it'll tell you a list, and you might not be able to see that, but on the right there it says, question 3 has not been completed, question 4 has not been completed. So then you'd have to go back and finish all of those. So once you've done all that, and also the photo right now has it's got an image viewer there, so you can zoom in and out, pan around the image, so you can get a better look at what you're aging. But once you're finished, then it gives you some results, and we've got a number of different statistics here: how long the quiz was, your mean residuals. So we've got expert ages that are in the data set that's behind this quiz, and it just tells you how far off you are from those expert ages. Median residuals, your mode residuals as well as percentages of the residuals that are above or below 0 or exactly 0, and a list of the residuals that are above 25%. So some of the people who Ian and Sean, who kind of built some of the stuff before this, had said, like, there shouldn't be any non-zero residuals above 25% for that. And then we've got some other indexes and error statistics on top of that. And in our plot here, we've got 2 options. You've got total count for the residuals. So the red is what your actual residuals are from the results of the quiz, and those green bars behind that show kind of an expected distribution of residuals from the answers. So you can see in this case, did pretty good, where most of the residuals were at 0. So it was pretty close on to what the experts were saying. And we can also look at this in a different way as far as percentages. So about 80% of the residuals were at 0, and 20% or so were at 1. But this is only a 5-question quiz, so not real long. And these answers will get more accurate or give you a better idea the longer the quiz actually is. Just 5 is not quite enough to give a very good idea of what's going on. And then down at the bottom here, I don't know if you've got a little download button where you can download all these results, and it'll give you a file, a zip file, that gives you the pictures that were a part of the quiz, the plots, those 2 plots that I showed you, the table, which actually I didn't go over. We got this table here, which just gives information about each of the quiz questions, capture date. We got min and max age because there are multiple experts who had aged these previously, and sometimes those differ slightly. So have included both of those on there. What the answer was given for the quiz, and then the residual from those expert ages. So that's included there in the results table, and then the stats table includes all of this information. So that's where it sits right now. The nice thing about Shiny is that you can, and because it uses R, anything you can do in R, you can do in Shiny pretty much. So it's very customizable to give people what they need and what they want. All the inputs at the beginning of the app can be changed. So if there's different situations or anything like that you want to account for, you can do that there. So yeah, that's just a quick run through of the app, and